Once again, welcome to The Guy Doing Things, episode 27. Getting damn close to 30 episodes. Looking forward to that. And if this is the first time joining, thank you so much for starting to support me. You've got a lot to catch up on. Today I spoke to Marinus van den Berg all the way from the Western Cape. What a brilliant guy. And he's also partnering with me on the whole journey. So look forward to that. That's going to be awesome. As usual, get your coffee ready because it's The Guy Doing Things, episode 27. All the way from the Western Cape. I'm not exactly sure where. I've been asking every time, but I continue to forget. But all the way from the Western Cape, I have Marinus van den Berg. Welcome on The Guy Doing Things.
Thank you so much, Thornton. It's a pleasure being here.
And just for everyone listening, and for myself, for the 10th time, where are you guys situated again in the Western Cape?
Thornton, we live in Somerset West. So the Cape Town area is close to Strand. That's where we're based. We live and work.
Beautiful country that side.
Thanks to COVID, we work here now as well.
Oh, well, that's I am gonna say convenient because it's such a beautiful place to live in.
That's true.
And are you there? Are you from there originally, or where did you? How did your life's journey take you to Somerset West?
No, I'm actually from Leidenburg, or I can actually not say that in English. It's Leidenburg.
Yeah.
In Mpumalanga. So I grew up there on a farm, and only after when I came to study, I came to Stellenbosch, and that's where I think I lost my heart to the Western Cape. So that's how we came. So actually, my wife studied here as well. So when we got married, we actually lived in Gauteng for a while. But then when we got the first chance, we came back down. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And what did you study down there in Stellenbosch?
I started out with financial planning, actually.
Right.
And I also worked for a year or so in the financial market, and then actually went into ministry from here. Yeah, so okay. I worked from there. I worked at Doxadeo for a while.
Okay, and did you do any formal theological qualifications? Or?
Well, if you count Metamorpho as that, yes. Otherwise, no. It was more on the admin side.
Okay.
The work that I did.
Yeah,
on the management side.
I know a bunch of people who've done Metamorpho, and I think the experience should count as theological training because
it's quite intense.
What happens through that throughout the year. So tell me, how did you get into the industry that you're in now, into leather goods and manufacturing of leather goods?
So it actually started while I was a first-year student. I picked up my first piece of leather, actually just out of curiosity, and started making things. That's where it started for me. And when I think 10 years down the line of refining, keeping on growing new skills, actually being self-taught from YouTube and trying a few things. I really had a dream, or it was this, I won't say boyish, but it's a type of dream where you actually think it will never happen. I remember I told my mom the one day, yes, it would be cool to go to Italy and actually do a course there, learning from the true masters. And she told me, why not? Why won't you go? And I think I just laughed her off, saying that will never happen.
Yeah.
And then circumstances actually, when we came to the Western Cape, we came here actually wanting to open another business.
All right.
And well, a long story short, that fell through, and we were in a space where we were not grounded anymore. So we picked up roots in Pretoria and came here, and now what now? And actually, that's when God just, I think He just challenged us and saying, okay, but dream bigger.
Yeah.
And it's almost in that then trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step? The doors opened up for us to go to Italy, and me and my family went there, and I actually did a diploma in pattern making and bag design, or prototype making. So yeah, that's where it got a bit formal, I would say, and I believe that was key for me to making this a career step. I don't think I would have done it if I did not have that backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the quick version.
And it's a fun backbone to have. I mean, it's not just a little trip to Italy. Just tell me a bit more about that. It's not just a trip, 2-week trip, and you watch a few seminars and come back. It's you took the wife and kid over.
Yeah, the pregnant wife and the kid.
Yes, so that's commitment. So just tell us a bit more about the Italy trip.
Yeah, so we went there. So for me, it was important to get the skills or the knowledge. I felt like if I really want to give this a go, I need to get some proper knowledge behind me.
Yeah.
So then started the process of finding a place. So that happened quite quick because I remember telling our business partner in that time that, okay, this is what we're going to do. And he said, okay, but I'm waiting for the invoice. Why haven't I seen the invoice yet to book for the course? I'm like, geez, I haven't found it yet. He says, but go, don't wait, just go. And I think it happened within maybe the space of 2 weeks where serious searching for a place. And then actually in Milan, we found a proper school. I think they are 70 years old already, focusing on bag and pattern making, and then also shoes. So they only do these two, I would say, art forms, because that's what I learned there. It's what this actually is. Then we went over there. It was a 10-week, very intensive course. It was over 350 hours of training that I received, and it was really practical stuff.
Yeah.
So we had a teacher, the Italian lady Elena. She herself came from the industry, so she's worked at Versace and a lot of the bigger name bag designers and makers. So it was quite cool to get that experience working with her. So that was how the structure was. And so like I said, took the family and rented a small apartment just outside Milan. And then from there on, an hour's travel each and every day there and back again on the trains. And I bought myself a kicking scooter. I don't know how to say that necessarily. The one without the engine. Luckily, Milan is very flat, so that's how I commuted in the city.
And got some proper leg muscles in the process.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct. So it was a lovely, lovely experience. I think if I have to sum it up, my standards were raised when I was there. When I was in South Africa, and you think you know a few things about leather, and you go over and you see, here's people that are fourth or fifth or sixth generation actually. Some of the companies that they took us to go visit. It's crazy to see the history and to see how they've built, how they've refined, how you almost know. Well, I know it's impossible to catch up to them.
Yeah.
But luckily, I know God made us to be unique in ourselves, and He has a special purpose and a plan for each and every one of us. So I'm not trying to catch up I'm trying to do my own thing here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the main thing.
Okay.
Apart from getting the knowledge and the skill, was to see what you can achieve.
Yeah. And so what you did achieve was to get that experience, bring it back to South Africa, and then launch your company. Please just tell us a bit more about. I call it MXM. I don't know if that's right. Should we call it? What's the correct name, or that you want people to call it? And
Yeah.
what does it mean? How did you come up with the idea for the company?
Yeah, so the company's name is MXM Studio.
Right.
So it comes from, actually, my wife started a blog when we were in Italy, and in the beginning it was just to share the experience with people back home. So the MXM is actually short for Mountain Grace Mountain.
Yeah.
So our surname is Van den Berg. So
Yeah.
the theme of mountains in our lives has been there for quite a while. But it has transitioned since we've started the business. Mountain Grace Mountain, Annika's name means grace, so that was the Mountain Grace. And then we had a 1-year-old or 2-year-old now. His name is Sion, so that's also reference to a mountain, Mount Zion. So that was the other mountain. But I think what it has grown into is actually a process. Something like you are doing now is when you understand that you've got a calling and you've got a purpose. I believe you have to work for it. And sometimes, or I would say always, it's hard. It's like climbing a mountain. So for us, it's this metaphor of going through the tough times and tough places and learning what you have to learn to get to the top of the mountain and almost build that monument for the kingdom. So, and in between, there's God's grace saying that, okay, I know what you're going through. I'm here right beside you. Nothing is new for me. Nothing is out of the nothing is new to him, and he knows where we're going, and he's with us in this journey. So that's the grace. And then so we'd like to partner with people that do this every day. So if I would and I think that's why I felt partnering with you would be a cool contribution, because I feel you are doing exactly the same. You are acting upon the unction of what God is telling you to do and what you want to achieve with your purpose and what you feel you need to do.
Yeah.
So we'd like to just walk next to you and say, listen, we'd like to encourage you. We'd like to help in any way we can. So that's the Mountain Grace Mountain story is of this. It's that metaphor of working hard to honor God, actually. And sometimes we get to stand on top of the mountain and enjoy the view. So in a nutshell.
That's so awesome. And I just want to say thank you so much for partnering again. At the end of the episode, we'll actually talk about how the partnership works, or what we are planning to do, which is really exciting. And my next question was actually about purpose and the leather industry, but you summed it up perfectly. I can't imagine your company without just communicating a bigger purpose than how you just explained it. So that's really awesome. Just on the craftsmanship side.
Yes.
So you said you picked up your first piece of leather, and not to be rude, but with anything, I'm into music, so the first time I picked up a guitar, it didn't sound that great.
Yeah.
The first time you picked up a piece of leather, was it this, okay, I'm really good at it and it looks professional, or did you actually have to learn and grow in this craftsmanship to do the things? Obviously you have to learn. You did the course in Italy, but was it a natural inclination? Did you just make something and it was beautiful and then it sort of happened from there?
Well, it depends on what you see as beautiful. But if I look back now, I would say no. I was quite impressed at the time.
Mm.
Um, yeah, you don't know, or you're unaware of what you do not know yet.
Yeah.
So for me, especially when we were in Italy, it came quite apparent that um, we'll never stop growing.
Mm.
And even since we've come back, that was something that I've experienced. So we grow each and every day. Each and every time I pick up a piece of leather or whatever, it's a growth. It's a new learning experience. So
Yeah.
yes, I had the necessarily skill maybe or the aptitude to do it. I believe I've got the right skill set to grow in that. But oh my goodness, if I look back, actually the other day, the very first messenger bag that I made somebody, that was almost 5 years back. He brought it back for some TLC.
Mm.
And I'm actually looking at it now and I'm feeling like, oh my goodness, how did you sell this to somebody? Um, so that's just to indicate, and at that time, I was so proud of it. And it's quite cool to be where I am now, not looking back with disgust or whatever. That's where I was at the time. And I engaged that at that time. So I see it in that light.
Yeah.
I've got this. I wouldn't say I call it a mantra, but the word kaizen. It's a Japanese word referring to incremental growth
Yeah.
each and every time that you engage with something. And I think that's something that I try to do when working, especially in the craft,
Yeah.
is to get better each and every time. And it's small margins and small steps. But we've got hopefully a whole life ahead of us to grow that mastery. I believe
Yeah.
that's the other thing that inspired me quite a lot is the book Mastery from Expand,
Okay.
where they took the principle of the 10,000 hours, and there's a lot of literature on how many hours you have to spend on something before you are actually good at it.
Yeah.
And they summed it quite well. Summed it up quite well in that for me. So I'm actually on this journey, or I see it as a journey to mastery. Um, yeah. So that's how I feel about it. It's a learning experience each and every time you pick up a piece of leather or a knife or whatever.
Yeah. And would you say that? So that's pretty cool. That you mentioned the growth and the mastery. So I think you summed it up quite well. That craftsmanship is not necessarily uh, a destination to aim for,
No,
but
not at all.
it's a and that's exactly how I think we should approach life. That it's not a destination. It's always going to be this process. So it's kind of a mindset, if I can call it that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Um,
something you have to choose. You have to engage with the growth.
yeah, yeah,
Otherwise, it's either going to frustrate you. Um, yeah, because I don't. If I know how many pieces of leather I've thrown away, um, because of not wanting to honor that principle of learning.
mm,
I've burned my fingers so many times. So I've learned to respect the process.
yeah, yeah. That's such a cool thing to say, and I'm guessing that's going to be one of the advice points in my next question. So um, you mentioned that you want to partner with people, and it's obviously the people that buy your products, or the people that aspire to something bigger than themselves, or aspire to to go out and change the world. So, how would you inspire people who want to start a journey, not necessarily similar to yours, but the people who they're sitting on this edge, wondering, okay, should I do this? Am I good enough to do it? I think that's the thing. Even with all crafts,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily want to take the leap, or you're afraid when you look over the fence and see, well, you know, there's too much competition, or this guy's doing it that way, and maybe he's going to take something away from me. How would you inspire people to just, you know, take that leap that you did? And obviously it's not just a crazy leap, jump off a mountain. It's a
No.
it's a leap of faith into faith, obviously with God. So
Yeah.
yeah, would you mind sharing some inspirational tips?
Well, I can share only what I've experienced. So it's such a personal experience, especially when you're standing at that point saying, okay, am I going to take this leap of faith now or not? I think what made me do it was, I know who God is, and He's shown Himself to be faithful throughout my own whole life. I cannot say anything different to that. I cannot say that He's let me down at any point in time, no matter what I've experienced. I've experienced a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, but He, in His character, He's never changed. He's always been good. And I think there was this point in time where I just felt like, and that's the other thing that I'd say, if we do not walk from obedience or in obedience, we're always going to wonder, am I at the right place? Am I doing the right thing? So I think that's the first thing, is obedience. Am I honoring God with this step that I'm taking? And is he actually in the same boat that I am?
Yeah.
Or am I just seeking this for my own personal gain? I think that was the first thing which gave me a lot of confidence to know, okay, I was convinced. I spoke to a lot of people, we prayed about it. I was convinced this is the way to go. And when the going gets tough, and it will, and it does, then those are the moments where you just have to say, okay, but I know God to be good.
Yeah.
And He'll still be that in this, and this is where we're going. And not saying that it will be easy. And just to go with your gut, trust your gut. I think that's something that I learned as well. It's more often than not, we're trying to control things.
Yeah.
And I've just learned to let go, because it's not my job to control. If I believe God to be good, then I know wherever He takes me, I'll be safe. Even if it doesn't feel all that good, I know I'm trying to honor Him with what I am doing. So I think that's a thing that's helping me to stick with this, because it is tough. It's tough to go to do something that you feel unsafe with, or unsure about, or anything like that. So that's just for me. That's why we did it. Because I knew we were being obedient in it, and I knew Him to be good. And with those two, that was enough for us to say, okay, let's do this adventure. And I believe maybe that's the third thing, is to have fun while doing it, and to see the struggles for what they are. It's a bit difficult. It's a learning experience, but to have fun with it. And I thank my wife for bringing that fun to my life. And also, we've got 2 kids now, but especially when we were in Italy, it was such a great experience having them there. Actually, when the talk of going to Italy first came up, I thought I'd be going alone, but she sorted me out quite quickly. And I was so glad that they went along. And that's the other thing, maybe also, Thornton, is to surround you with people that's honoring towards your dreams. People that will listen and ask the tough questions. I know I have a few friends that asked the critical questions when we were speaking about this. So surround you with the right people as well. I think we were made for community. And if we start moving outside of community, then that's a dangerous space for me.
Yeah, and that makes so much sense. And I think all those pieces of advice combined, it gives me this calming feeling. Even if you have this major project like you had and what I have before me with the studies and etc., I think how you explained it just gave me this calming feeling. So I hope the people listening also had that feeling. When you go through this checklist, is it something that God wants me to do? Is he there? Do I have people who support me and ask the right questions? Am I having fun with this? I think that's a cool checklist to have. So thanks so much for that. And that's all the questions for today. But I quickly just want to mention, and I can't say thank you enough, so I'm going to say it a few more times. But I'm so honored that you decided to partner with me in the studying journey as well. So I would just like to mention it on the podcast. So Marinus phoned me and he saw the post that I made for my studies in America, and he said, "Okay, listen, I want to partner with you, or we want to partner with you as the studio." And a lot of back and forth came through with what in what way he could help, and we eventually got to agreement where we will or he will manufacture two different products in aid for the fundraising for the studies in America next year. So that's so awesome. We decided to do I can't get the word now, but a pencil holder.
People will see. The pictures speak 1,000 words, Thornton.
Yes,
Let them decide what it will be when they see it.
That's also true, because I wanted to say butt sucky, but if people from outside South Africa listen to it, they'll be like, what? But it's a toiletry bag. I got it
or
now.
a dop kit is the other word that they use for it. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you so much, and please just before we launch it, it's something that's going to be really cool and it's going to be exciting. So I want to get the people excited for it, and then go follow MXM Studio. Please, Marinus, would you just share all the social media handles and websites people can go to? And you have an online store, if I'm correct, or do they message you for orders? How does that work?
Yeah, so being a small business, so I literally make every piece with my own two hands. My wife helps with the marketing. She's got a different or another job as well. So it's a bit old school now at the moment. We're working on a website. So for now, people can follow us. They can go search for MXM Studio on Facebook and Instagram. Luckily, the website won't be that far into the future. So that will be coming out quite soon. Awesome. So for now they can do that, but I've been doing a lot of custom work, and I'd like to encourage people, if they have that special something that they've been dreaming of, give me a call. I love co-creating with people. I think that's where I'm most alive. And that's what I've been enjoying with this project of yours, knowing that we're actually doing something bigger than just making something out of leather. So people can just contact me. My email address is marinus@mxmstudio.co.za. You can always find me there, or just on the social pages.
Awesome.
We love to engage with people. Yes,
that's so cool. And we'll get names for them. We don't have names for the two things yet, but that's something that needs to happen organically, I feel. And thank you so much. I hope by the time this is published, we'll have some photos attached to it as well, and hopefully we can get some pre-orders in as well, and also some custom work, because I also love watching the process as you post it online about how you create these things. It's really truly awesome. Marinus, thank you so much for being on The Guy Doing Things, and thank you for being part of the bigger journey as well. And may all your projects on that side flourish. And I'm very, very jealous of you being in the Western Cape. Hopefully we can visit soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for the time, Thornton. And I just want to say I'm really proud of you actually in engaging your dreams like you are. I believe it's going to honor God in a big way. So kudos for doing that, and with the diligence that you are doing it. I believe this will carry you forward, and we're really looking forward to see what's happening in your life. So yeah, thanks to you as well for being faithful to the calling that God has given you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll have a chat soon. What a cool guy. I mean, if you didn't like that, I don't know. That was so cool. Thank you so much, Marinus. Once again, go follow MXM Studio on Facebook and Instagram, and I hope you look forward to the merch that is coming. And stay safe as usual. Thank you for the continued support throughout the journey of the guy doing things. We'll see you back next time for the next episode. Cheers for now.